Well, hello, Ian Anderson-Gray here. I am doing something a little bit different today. I'm kind of going live. Well, I am going live, but I'm going to be recording my podcast as well. So I'm kind of separating it out. Normally, it's a live show and a podcast. Today, it's a live show of me recording my podcast, if that kind of makes sense. Anyway, I've actually realized I've not gone live for quite a few months now. And so I thought it was time to go live and share my thoughts about what I've been up to, my thoughts for the future as well. And also I thought, well, it's a great way to record content for podcast, doing it live, because hopefully if there are people watching, they can, you can get involved and ask me questions and we can have some fun at the same time. But because I have not gone live in a while, because I've not had that regular thing, sometimes things can go wrong. So you never know what's going to happen today. Things could go horribly wrong. We'll see what happens. This feels like a bit of a baptism of fire here. But yeah, well, today's episode is going to be all about what I've been up to. Creator Camp in particular. That's the Ecamm Live Creator Camp in Boston. I'm also going to be focusing on what did I do in my camera's gone off. That's a great start, isn't it? Then I'm going to talk about my business coach as well. Let me just get my where's it gone? That's typical. There we go. I have to switch my camera off. And then so not a great start. So we're talking about working with my business coach, and also about what else? Yes, my revenue streams and collaboration. And of course, I want to share some stuff about AI because there's been some amazing stuff about AI as well. So let's do that. Let's get the camera back on again. There we go. Okay, it should load up in a bit. Unfortunately, my camera is being a little bit dodgy at the moment. Here we go. Back. So if you are watching, do say hello. It's going to be a little bit more kind of informal, maybe a little bit kind of more raw today as well. That's the kind of live show that I like. So let's get on with it. I'm going to press record. I think everything's going right. I'll see you after this.
Welcome to the Confident Live Marketing Show with Ian Anderson-Gray.
Helping you level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of confident live video.
Optimize your mindset and communication and increase your confidence in front of the camera.
Get confident with the tech and gear.
And get confident with the content and marketing.
Together, we can go live!
Well, hello, welcome to episode 209 of the Confident Live Marketing Show. My name is Ian Anderson-Gray, and I've not been here for the last 2 months. As I said in the last episode in the end of August, I was going to take some time off, have a pause, and reflect on what is next. And that's what I've been doing, and it's been great. And I've also been to Boston for the Ecamm Live Creator Camp, which was amazing. So like before, I'm recording this live. And actually, I've not done the whole live thing for quite a few months. I've taken some time off. I've actually done a lot of these pre-recorded. I've pre-recorded them and then broadcasted them live. So it's exciting to be back doing live video. I've really missed that interaction with people, but I'm going to share a little bit more about that in a bit. Martin Buckland is here. Now let's see if the text is working on the screen. It is. Great to see you, Martin. I've missed you. Hope things are going well with you. There is a small possibility that I might be in Toronto next summer. We will see. I will let you know. We've also got Juma here saying, hey, I heard that episode when you said you were taking a break. Thank you. Yes, I have been taking a break, and it's been, I think all of us need that from time to time. I said back in May 2019 that consistency was really important for me, and it was, but sometimes you just need to do it for a little bit and then stop and get back to things. Well, anyway, before I get on with all of that, it's really important that I mention today's sponsor, who is Adobe Express. Adobe Express very kindly sponsored this episode. Now, let's see if I can get it up on the screen. You can find out more about Adobe Express at iag.me/Adobe Express. And if you are serious about creating a brand identity, creating fantastic images across all of your socials, then Adobe Express is amazing. They've also got some amazing text and generative AI stuff as well. So on the screen at the moment, we've got a little image here, which is going to be a prompt that says a seahorse in a colorful coral garden, intricate detail. But if I say, for example, I want to have an old house on top of a desolate mountain with moody clouds in the distance, I'm going to generate that and see what that does. I don't know if you played around with generative AI, but it is pretty amazing and it helps you create some just really imaginative images. I'm using this for my blog posts, or I will be. So what have we got here? So we've got some really quite moody images here. And it's not just images. You can also do this with text as well. With Adobe Express, you've also got PDFs you can play with. You've got videos. You can remove the background from both images and videos. You've got so many templates to choose from in the video, social media, photos. You've got the whole stock library from Adobe, the whole of all their fonts as well. And one of the things that I love are the quick actions as well. So you can crop images, convert to SVG, all those kinds of things. It's amazing. Well, I thank you, Adobe Express, for sponsoring this episode. You can find out more at iag.me/Adobe Express. That's iag.me/Adobe Express. Well, let's get back to the show. Yes, thank you. You sent me a LinkedIn message about it, Juma, saying I need to make sure that did I respond to you? If not, I'm sorry. It's been a bit of a mad time. Anyway, I have been focusing. I've been doing quite a few things. I've been working with a business coach. I'm going to share my thoughts on that, what my next focus has been, and what my revenue streams are going to be as well. That's one of the big things that I've been focusing on is diversification of revenue streams. Then I'm going to talk about, or before that, I'm going to talk about the Ecamm Live Creator Camp, which was a couple of weeks ago in the Boston area in a place called Amesbury. I was a camp counselor with some other fantastic people. We had Jeff C was there. He was a camp counselor. Luria Petrucci was a camp counselor. I'm going to forget all the names. I think it was 4 or 5 of us. And the whole idea of it, as you can probably tell, was it was like a summer camp feel. And I think it was capped at about 100 people. And the idea was really to learn together, to learn how to create amazing content together. So my job was to go around with my group, it was called a group, I think, going around different studio setups and to learn different things and to encourage them. And I learned so much. Probably one of the things I learned the most, or was reminded of the most, was how much we need people. Now, if you're watching this, the likelihood is, for many of you, you are working on your own. Now, you might work in a corporate business, but you might want the idea of having your own business. And that gives you so much freedom. I love the freedom that comes from running your own business, being able to finish early, go see friends, spend time with the kids, whatever it is, you've got that freedom and flexibility. But even if you are an introvert like me, one thing I've learned is that how much we actually do need other people. Sometimes we're so stuck in our own heads, we might have all these ideas. This is where collaborating with sharing ideas, bouncing ideas off people is so important. And that was one of the things that I was really reminded of when I went to Creator Camp. Katie Simpson is in the house. Great to see you, Katie, watching on the beach or watching from the beach. That sounds pretty cool. If you are listening to the podcast, by the way, do follow me on the socials on YouTube and on Facebook. And you can also sign up for my newsletter at iag.me, and then you won't miss out on interacting live. So yeah, that was one of the things I really learnt, hanging out with some really old friends and also making new ones, being open and honest and transparent about the struggles, but also ideas, exciting ideas of how to collaborate and support each other. And that's one thing that I really want to do with my community, with you guys, is to support you, but allow us all to support each other, because we are all creators. We are all in this business to help other people, but also to communicate as well. So that was cool. Now, one of the great parts of this was hanging out with the likes of Adrian Salisbury. Now, I don't know if you've come across Adrian. He's been on the show before. He's very much part of the Ecamm Live family, and he did a workshop on YouTube. And one thing that was really quite a harsh reminder, really, for me, is that people don't really care about you, at least to begin with. On YouTube, people are tending to want to find out the answer to a problem. So creating YouTube videos is great to where you're answering someone's potential problem, but they're not really interested in you. So, I spend probably about 30 seconds of my YouTube videos towards the beginning saying who I am, where I'm from, and I've got a little cool little intro video. People don't really care about this. And this was from, well, Adrian actually said it was his son that said this. And I think it's actually true. So when you're creating content, particularly on YouTube, I'm not talking about long form content necessarily like this, like live video. Just get straight into the point. You can always put in the description if people want to find out a bit more about you. But you've got to earn that loyalty. You've got to earn the right to build a community. It doesn't just come straight away. So I do hear from people, and I think I've fallen into this trap myself, wanting to create or build a community where you've not really put the effort in to create that, or to have that loyalty from people that they really want to come back to you for, loads and loads of times. So, that's definitely something that I would, I've been reminded about. We've got Gillian Roberts in the house, and Gillian was one of the workshop leaders, I think, at the Ecamm Live Academy. And, excuse me, doing this with Stephanie Garcia. Now, I can't remember exactly what your track was called, but it was all about remote producing or live producing. And Gillian was amazing because she got us all playing with gear. And the gear that what we were playing with was actually quite high-end stuff like HDMI and ATM minis and all this kind of stuff. And I learned loads from that. It was really, really cool. Ramon is in the house. Great to see you, Ramon. Always love to see your smiling face here. So thank you. I really appreciate all of you who are watching live. It means a lot to me, particularly since I've not actually been going live on this channel for quite a few months. Okay, so that's the second thing. People don't really care about you on YouTube or even in your blog or any kind of content. You have to earn that trust, that you have to earn the right to build a community as well. So Ecamm Live Creator Camp was amazing. It was probably one of the most, I think actually one of the most fun. Is my camera going off? It's probably going to go off again. I'm having one of these problems today. Okay, forgive me. I'm going to have to switch my camera off. I think what's happening. Okay, apologies. This is so unprofessional. There's, this camera sometimes forgets the setting to not switch off when it gets hot. And I think it's getting a little bit hot, but I am still here. You're just going to have to watch a little black screen. And of course, if you're listening to the podcast, it doesn't matter because you don't see this. So you don't have to see how unprofessional I am. So anyway, one of the things about this creator camp was the fact that it was really small and intimate. It was a great way to hang out with people and to really get to know people. Opportunities to eat together, to drink with each other, and just to get to know people. I really love those small, intimate conferences. So I'm just going to switch my camera back on again. And after a few seconds, it should go back on again. Yes, it is very dark up north, Katie is saying. Thank you for that. Am I back? I am back. I am back. Well, hopefully it's going to last a little bit longer. Right. Okay, let's talk about revenue streams before I share some really exciting things in the world of AI. So I've been working with a business coach this year, and that has been a really amazing experience, really. Getting out of your head. Sometimes you can have all these ideas and thoughts, but you need somebody else to help you organize those thoughts and to help you focus on what you should be focusing on. And I've been focusing on, well, what should be my revenue streams and what holds all those things together? Is this something that you have thought about? What is your purpose is the other question. And so I was concerned, well, first of all, about just putting all my eggs in one basket or in a few different baskets. I think it's important for us to diversify our revenue streams, but also you don't want to just be so fragmented that what your offerings don't really make any sense. It lacks that cohesiveness, if that's the right phrase. So I was really excited because during working with this business coach, I went home and I started to think about my revenue streams and trying to think about how to put them all together. I started to use AI, specifically Chat GPT, to help organize my thoughts and to put together what my purpose was going to be. And so I came up with this, with Chat GPT, and this is the thread that pulls it all together. I'm going to share this first, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to then go through my revenue stream. So I'll be really interested to know what you think. And I kind of shared a lot with ChatGPT about myself, and we worked at this over time. And this is not just ChatGPT. This is my business coach and obviously me as well. So this is the thread that pulls it all together and my purpose. I am a catalyst for genuine transformation, guiding you from confusion to clarity while dramatically enhancing your communication skills and ability to form authentic connections. Through my diverse skill set, from performance and live streaming to technology, I specialize in those aha moments that illuminate your thinking. I delight in helping you crack the code on a challenging tech issue or find your authentic voice, whether that's in front of a camera or on stage. My love for deeply pondering life's big questions informs my approach. Guided by a strong sense of integrity, I focus on a human-centric and ethical approach to technology and leadership. With a global perspective, but a personal touch, my ultimate aim is to help you not just communicate better, but to connect more authentically with your audience, your clients, your world, and perhaps more importantly, with yourself. Okay, that's not necessarily something I'm going to put on my website, but I think that puts together everything that I'm about. Because yes, I love the technology and I love problem solving, and I don't want technology to be complicated. I kind of love the complexity, but what really pains me is if somebody is out there is really wanting to communicate and the tech is getting in the way. I want to be that person that can help make that easy and to take away that problem. Also, it's about communication, about telling a story. I trained as a professional singer, so on stage, it was all about communicating emotion, communicating a message. And I want to help people who maybe struggle with that to be able to communicate much more authentically, but enthusiastically as well. So I was really excited putting all of that together because that is the kind of thing that I really struggle with, to put together all of these different things that I do into one paragraph. So, yes, let's look at some of the comments here. Martin says ADHD are the rulers of the world. Yeah, I think so. Katie says that's a fab bio that focuses on how you can help others. Do you have a tagline with the main things in a few words? Okay, well that's an important point. Not quite there yet. We're getting there. So things I've been focusing on is a tagline, mission statement, purpose, all of those things USP. And I'm going to come on to some of those things in a little bit. So, yeah. So let's look at the revenue streams, because a few years ago, I was a brand ambassador for a big company. They were paying me a lot of money every month. It was fantastic. It enabled me to buy the house we're currently in, and it was a real blessing. But that just went away in about a month. Well, I was working with them for about a year and a half, but then they just dropped me and quite a few other people in one go. And so that taught me a lesson, not to rely on one revenue stream. I wasn't relying on just that. There were other things coming in, but it's important to diversify your revenue streams, because if that one thing goes, you're going to be in trouble. So that's what I've been doing, and let's look at some ideas. And I'd love to know what you think. These are just ideas at the moment, but the first one is the idea of building a community of entrepreneurs, either with ADHD, or I'm not entirely sure whether I want to specifically focus on ADHD, because I don't necessarily want to be the ADHD guy, because that can sometimes, I think sometimes people can have the wrong impression of ADHD, and do I want that label? I don't know. The other idea is smart creators. But part of that might be neurodiversity. So I think there is definitely an issue out there. There's a lack of targeted approach for entrepreneurs with ADHD or neurodiversity. And I have built so many different strategies and tools and systems that have helped me become really productive and creative. And I want to share that with other people. So maybe that will be some kind of paid community. That's the idea. That's somewhere in the future. Number 2 is something I really want to focus on, and that is communication, presentation, and impact. And in truth, I have already been doing this, but this is focusing not necessarily just on the camera and on live video. This is really for people like, I've got the problem here, leaders lacking the skills to communicate effectively. So using my musical and performance background, it's helping business leaders, corporate leaders to learn the nuance and artistry of communication, because so many people out there have amazing ideas. They don't always communicate it with enthusiasm, and sometimes it can be very, very down in terms of the energy as well. So what I've been doing with all of these is thinking, well, what is the problem? What is my USP? What makes me unique into help here? What's the world crying out for here? Who is my ideal customer, and how it could work? So yeah, that's worked. That's been such a helpful thing for me to go through these things. And this is what I would recommend that you do. List your different revenue streams or potential revenue streams, and then work out what list the problem, your USP, the world need, ideal customer, and how it could work as well. Yeah, thanks, Katie. Love that communication, presentation, and impact. That's something I'm really passionate about. And this is not just in front of the camera, but it can also be in person as well. Okay, affiliate marketing has always been a big part of my revenue stream. It's probably been one of my biggest. This is something I've always done, really. We're in a confusing tech landscape. What is the best tool for my needs? And it could be live video, it could be social media management tools, it could be AI. And so my USP is curated recommendations based on my experience. Trust and integrity is really important here. So I don't want to I'm not choosing tools that I'm paid for. I'm choosing tools that actually make a difference. And are really, really good. So clarity and trust is so important. And particularly as we get into AI, the world of AI, I think this is going to become even more important. So creating blog posts, YouTube videos, that type of thing. And then we're on to a similar kind of thing, which is what again, been a big part of my revenue stream, is being a brand ambassador, which is a weird thing. It's a really weird thing to be called, but it is what it is. And there is definitely at the moment, let me know if you agree, there is definitely distrust in typical marketing, digital marketing, social media, and consumers seek authentic recommendations. But here's the big thing here. Like I have been potentially been a brand ambassador for a tool company, and they only want me to talk about how amazing they are. They don't want me to talk about, they don't want me to be ruthlessly honest. And that's why I loved working with Agora Pulse, because Agora Pulse actually wanted me to write an article called 7 Reasons Not to Use Agora Pulse, to actually look at the negative side, because they realize that my truth, my honesty, my integrity is absolutely vital to build trust. So I want to be a brand ambassador where I am able to keep my integrity, to build that trust, and to only be a brand ambassador really for tools and services that I really, really like and use, and I think that can make a difference. But also when they're giving me the freedom to talk openly and honestly about it. Obviously, it's not a good idea if I say they are absolute rubbish, but I'm not going to be a brand ambassador for a company that I think are rubbish. So that's that, brand ambassador. USP, Katie is asking, thank you for asking that question, because I never knew what that word meant either. And it's one of these kind of acronyms that people just use. Unique, what's it called again? I'm having a brain freeze. USP is unique. I've forgotten what it is. Or is it? It's going to come back to me in a minute. Unique selling point. That's the one. Unique selling point. Do you know, that's so annoying when that happens. I knew what it was in my head and then I forgot. ADHD. I'm going to blame that. Unique selling point. So what makes me unique in the marketplace to be able to sell that? Thanks for the question. I even forgot what it was myself. I also missed what Katie said before. Yes, this is about the communication side of things. Yes, some people are monotonous and boring, and therefore they lose money as their audience are bored or leave. And I want to make a point. I think it's important to make the point here that I'm not wanting everyone to be like full of energy and just inauthentic. I think if you're quite a low energy person, you might only need a little to ramp up the energy a little bit. I'm not wanting people to like completely change their personality, but I think that's important. Right. Anyway, let's go back to here. Brand ambassador. So, yeah, then the next thing is show and podcast host. So one thing that I've realized that I'm very good at, I think, is interviewing and production side of things. And I think there's a lack of meaningful conversations and fun in the industry. So I want to add a little bit more of that to other people's podcasts. So, I love what it says here. This is Chat GPT. My charisma and depth offer a unique show experience for my USP. So definitely. So the world needs entertainment and learning in one package. The next thing is live events. And I've done a lot of these. One of my favorite ones was Janet Murray's Creators Content events. I did a hybrid event and also an online event. And so creating really exciting, fun, virtual events that are not boring. So what I'd help here with is consultation planning. And this is not just necessarily with live events, virtual events, but also it could be metaverse events as well, which I'm really interested in. So that's number 6. 7, I'm just going to go through these fairly quickly. I'm fascinated. I love using AI. I'm going to share a little bit more about those in a bit, but I think what's really important here is there's the ethical consideration here, and I'm going to be able to help companies, businesses with human-centered AI utilization. And so thinking about the ethical side of things, because I think a lot of people are using AI without thinking about the consequences. We should absolutely be using AI, but I think in a really human-centered way. Social media training, I've always done that. I will continue to do that. It's not like a core part of my business, but obviously with my experience, I can provide online, virtual, in-person social media training. Live videos, consulting, a similar kind of thing. This is particularly with the tech, overcoming tech hurdles, but also the performance anxiety side of things as well. So live video consultancy. 10, brand and tool consultation. So that's working with companies this is kind of like the other side of brand ambassadorship, but it's working with companies to help with the branding, but also product roadmap, really. And I've worked with a number of companies over the years. I've really enjoyed that. I think I'm particularly good at it. So that's that. Speaking. I've not been doing so much speaking this year. It's not been a focus, but I think I do want to get back to speaking. I love doing it. It just needs to be the right kind. So yeah, speaking. And then finally, the other thing that I do is WordPress development, hosting, and management. This is my other company. We basically host, we look after business websites, and we also do a little bit of web development on the side. So those are the 12 different revenue streams, but putting them all together is that thread at the beginning. Great to see you. It's Paul, isn't it? Grammar Detective. Hello from Vancouver, Canada. You are up nice and early. Yes, I am back streaming again. It's been a long time, but I will get back to it. So yes, that's all of that. In terms of this show, my focus is going to be less on the live streaming side of things now and more on other side. Basically, it's going to be to do with communication, but other aspects as well. I'm still thinking those things through. I will be talking about live streaming from time to time, but that's going to be less of the focus. I'd love to hear from you what you think and what you would like me to talk about, but that's my thinking. So let's talk about AI, because I've been playing around with some really cool things here. Let's see if this works. Okay, so here's my phone, and there's a cool app here called Rec Up. And what this does, it records my voice, and I can record like a voice memo, or I can record a journal entry, and it's then going to upload it to Dropbox. So I'm hoping this is going to work. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So let's just do it. Journal. So today is Friday, the 27th of October. And this morning I had a couple of meetings, client meetings. So I met with my client, Chris. We talked about this new website that we're building together. I gave him access to it. We solved a few bugs, and we looked at the next stage in the development of that. I also met up with Louise, and we talked about that website as well, and focused on the next stage, working with the designer so that we know exactly what we're going to be doing there. Then I wanted to plan for my Confident Live Marketing Show episode 209, and I decided to actually stream the recording live. So that's what I'm currently doing at the moment as I record this voice memo, this voice journal. So I'm thinking about what is going to be next in this show, focusing what the focus should be. Should it be on communication? Should it be on AI? Should it be on... Those are the kind of the questions that I need to think about as I move forwards. And then this afternoon, my parents are coming round, and I've got some other work to do before the weekend commences. So yeah, that's that. Okay, I pressed stop on there. And what this is then doing is this is then going to send it to, it's this little script. So I need to trigger this using if this then that. So I don't know whether this is going to work. So I've just triggered. This should run every 5 minutes. I'm just going to check the activity. And when did it run? It ran at 2:03. So that looks good. So I'm just going to give it a few minutes. But basically what happens is this is then sent to Chat GPT. It's transcribed into text. And then that text, that transcription is sent to Chat GPT with a prompt asking it to come up with a summary, follow-up points, actions, that kind of thing. So it's a specific prompt, which is based on whether it's a journal entry or a memo, or that keyword that I said at the beginning. I said journal because I wanted the script to know what type of post it was. So it's going to do that, and then what it's going to do, hopefully, it's going to send it to Notion. Now, if you're not familiar with Notion, basically it's kind of like a database it allows you to be really flexible and create loads of different things. Now, let's see if it has come back. No, it hasn't yet. So unfortunately, it might have a problem. I'll tell you what, I'm going to come back to that. And if it doesn't work, because I'm still developing the script, I'll show you an earlier one. But hopefully it will, because that would be really cool. And if it doesn't, I'm going to have to play around with the script. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to show you is this. Now, if you have Chat GPT, so let's just go back. Chat GPT, start voice conversation. So I don't know whether you've seen this, but this is really cool. So you can have a conversation with AI. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to bring my phone over to my microphone because for some reason the audio doesn't come through. But let's try this. Ooh. Now that would be just typical that it's stopped working just as I'm about to demonstrate it. There, it's working. Hi, so tomorrow I'm going to go into Ashton-under-Lyne with my mum and my sister. We're going to have a little chat and a catch up, and we're just looking for ideas of where to go. We were thinking about the Lily's Indian restaurant, or maybe going for a coffee, but we don't want somewhere that's too loud. We want something that's quiet, somewhere that we can have a nice conversation and catch up, and it'll probably be in the early afternoon. So I was wondering if you could recommend some places, and also just can you tell me what the traffic's going to be like as I come over from where I live, which is in Cheadle-Hulme. So it's sending that now to Chat GPT, and it should come back with a voice. So let's start.
A day out in Ashton-under-Lyne sounds lovely, especially if you're looking for some quality time with your mum and sister. Lily's Indian restaurant has quite a good reputation, and it could be a nice choice if you're in the mood for some veggie-friendly Indian cuisine. If you're leaning towards coffee, you might consider somewhere like Portland Basin Museum. It's generally quieter and has a cafe where you can enjoy a cuppa. As for traffic, I can't give you real-time updates, but the drive from Cheadle-Hulme to Ashton-under-Lyne typically takes about 25 to 30 minutes without heavy traffic. Since you're planning to go in the early afternoon, you might avoid the rush hour madness, making the journey a bit smoother. Does that help with your plans? Got any other questions on your mind?
Okay, I won't go through all of that, but basically also what should happen is, I know it's not here, but it should, there we go. It actually then types it all out there. So you've actually got that in the transcription as well, which is pretty amazing. So there you go. That is, that's Chat GPT, the voice side of things. Now, unfortunately, the journal entry that I gave before isn't working. There's obviously some issue with the script. I'm still debugging it. I'm still working on it. But let's see if I can find something here that will hopefully work. Okay, so yeah, let's just share this. Okay, and then let's just click on this journal entry here. So this is, first of all, it's got a link to the audio file in there. It's got a summary. It's got main points there. It's got locations referenced. It's got people, action items, follow-up questions, references, and then the full transcript. So what I love about this is it enables you to give your thoughts over voice, and then using AI, it can basically organize that. It can put it into main points, follow-up points, and action items as well. Now, it's not free. You have to pay for the API, but it's quite inexpensive. You know, you're looking about less than a cent per journal entry. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. Well, there we go. That is it for today's episode. I have gibbered on far too long. I'd love to know from you what you think about all of that. And I will see you next time. And I do want to say I really appreciate you for listening, for plugging me into your ears, or for watching live. I really appreciate it. But until next time, I encourage you to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of Confident Live Video. See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching the Confident Live Marketing Show with Ian Anderson Gray.
Make sure you subscribe at iag.me/podcast so you can continue to level up your impact, authority and profits through the power of live video.
And until next time,
Toodaloo.